Okay, so I'm Ian, and today I will be starting off with the first episode of How to Photograph Everything. I'm not like an expert photographer or anything, but I just bought this book. It's about $40. It's called How to Photograph Absolutely Everything. And I decided to just go over pretty much all, if not most, if not all, of the situations in the book. So I've already read some of this, and I learned some of this like pretty recently. I just read it. And then some of it you can actually find on the internet for free, but there are some of these in here that you won't be able to find on the internet for free, so that's what I'll be going over with you. For starters, macro settings. Those are pretty cool. Those are when it's close-up settings on your camera. Most cameras have a macro setting. Where do I stick mine? Mine is, my camera's in this case right here. It's a Fujifilm FinePix S1000 FD. It's pretty cool. It's not like crazy expensive or anything, but it's nice. So let's see, I'll start off with the first situation in here. It says, judging exposure. So I'll just read through some of this stuff. So that's judging exposure. It says, let's see. With digital cameras, it is better to err on the side of underexposure. That is definitely true, because as you can see in this picture, it's like bright and it's not really focusing on much, and it just makes the color seem more washed out. As it's underexposed, you can tell, seeing in the background right here, that let's see, the background right here is darker, and the colors are more like vibrant and they're darker. You can see back here, a lot brighter. So that's definitely true. Shooting in poor light conditions. It says, when shooting in poor light conditions or if your subject is moving, you can reduce exposure times by adjusting your camera's sensitivity. The ISO setting. Raising it may enable you to take pin-sharp photos with little reduction of image quality. That's true. That's something you'll have to play around with just so you can find out how it affects it affects everyone's camera a little differently. But I found out on my own. I didn't really look to the book for this one, but during sunset pictures like that one, it's best to set it to shutter, like to a or no, it's actually, I'd say it's best to set it to like a landscape or night. Or no, actually, aperture setting is what I use for mine generally, and then I set the aperture like, it has like an automatic aperture setting, but I set the brightness of the picture like way up, so that way the whole screen doesn't turn just black. So that's just a quick little tip. You might have to take a few tries until you get it. This is kind of cool. It says, if you have a digital SLR, add movement to your images. What I had to find this out on the internet because I wasn't with I didn't have this book with me. I was out of town when I was trying this out. But and it was like I kind of forgot about this. But what happened was I decided to try one of those Sprint commercial kind of pictures where you Sprint, in the Sprint commercials, how they do the light thing. Here, I'll show you. Okay, so when people like draw with a light, it's just kind of cool. Here, I'll show you some of them. Alright, so what you do is you set it to the shutter priority mode. That makes it so you can control the shutter. And what you want to do is, it's best to have it in a darkest possible room, so you can do this. And what you do is you take a light pen, like an LED or a flashlight. LEDs work the best because it's not like too insanely bright. But this is when I was just first experimenting with it. I didn't know that my shutter, I could set it even slower than this, so that was only about like 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds, about like 4. This is when I started to figure out that I could do it for about 8 seconds, and I was just starting to get used to this. It's pretty cool. It's nothing. See? You can start to write. This is it in a pretty low light situation, so it still turned out okay. It's just kind of interesting. So there, there's like a U, eighth notes, O. It's like a close up. H. Yeah. When you write it in front of the camera, it turns it backwards, so you have to do all your letters backwards. I just had to spell hello. I went and pasted them together on pages after this, but I decided to do H-E-L, and then I did another L, and then there's an O somewhere around here. O. Okay, and then I started to experiment with this. I put it in a very low light situation, but still there was some light. I'm not sure if you can really see that. Let's see if I can see that. See, it's like a wee little like statue thing I had, and I just stuck it on the ground, and over here, like this is actually right next to my bed, and over there I stuck a light, so there it just had some light coming down at the bottom, so you could still see that. And then I went and set it to 8, and then I had the little LED ready, and I just took it around and did that. And you can't do it like too much, or else it'll just completely cover your little thing that you're trying to do it around. Here's another thing. It's kind of interesting. This I kind of went crazy right here. I just was waving it around a bunch, and it ended up just making it a big bright splotch right near the Wii. It's kind of interesting. This you can actually see my hand, because my hand was in there a ton, and this one I was using both hands. I had two different lights, so it kind of looks like two flares next to the Wii. This is my dog, and I just kind of circled him a bunch with this light. You can't actually see the light in real life, like left like this, or people make a ton of videos about that because it looks really cool, but it only turns up on your camera, so you have to imagine what it will be looking like. And when you do it with an LED, you have to have it a little bit lower, like put the light a little bit lower than you're expecting, than where you're actually putting your hand, or where you want it to be, or else it'll end up higher, which I had to figure that out after a few tries. Yeah, I'll turn the screen brightness. Okay, actually, turn the screen brightness up. That might help. It's just the glare right now is kind of bad. There's another one. It's my violin. Yes, and I do play the violin. Kind of made it look like the violin had strings that were made out of light, and then one of them was kind of like a broken string that kind of popped off up there. Sometimes the coolest ones of these are the ones that you actually messed up on. These ones kind of look like comets coming down on the GameCube. This one's kind of like clouds. I don't know what that is. I tried to make it an arrow, kind of failed. But now it just looks like some big like cowboy hat. Big arc thing. It's my jaw. I tried to make it like a little monster, like eating the GameCube, but I couldn't get that because that's really hard. So yeah, so that'll wrap up today's episode, and next time I will be talking about, let's see, maybe, let's see, you could give some suggestions for the second one if you guys wanted to, but, maybe some exposure tips and stuff, but this book has tons of stuff. I'll probably have a bunch of episodes. So if you have any situations that you would want to know how to take pictures of, just tell me, and I can just find it in the book real quick, and I'll try and make a video as soon as I can. So, yeah. So, see you next time on how to photograph everything.